Okay, good afternoon, everybody. This is Dennis Wilborn. Welcome to the On the Radar session. We're going to do a real quick market update. It is the 24th of February. I hope everything is doing well. Let's just jump right into it. If you're joining us on Instagram Live, I basically will not know if you're on live or not on live. And so if you ever want a stock evaluated by the active trend trader, just basically send me a text, send me a DM, something prior to us going on record. Normally we do this video on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 1 o'clock Pacific time. That's 1 p.m. Pacific time, just after the market closes. So we're usually in about 5 minutes after the hour. Hey, I'm going to try something a little bit different today than we have in the past. I'm basically going to, because we've been having a freeze up on a freeze up when it comes to oh poo. With the bandwidth, and so I want to see if I can basically do this recording, because I am recording. I'm going to see if I can do that this recording without showing my lovely face. Now, I know you know some of you will miss looking at me, but other than that, what's really important, what you're really after, is to come in here and look at the charts. And so let's go ahead and jump in here because when the video freezes up, it's distracting. And so that's not a good thing, and I don't want you to be distracted, because the most important thing you can take away from today's session is what the charts are doing. So let's jump right into it. Looking first at the S&P. We'd had a little bit of a sell-off, and then the Fed chair came out and said, "Hey, we're going to do whatever we can do to keep the the economy going and all that kind of stuff," and the market took that as meaning something really good. And so we all of a sudden started rallying from the time he spoke yesterday. Now, under the big scheme of everything, this is a daily chart looking at the S&P. And the S&P, as you can see, we came down, tested in between the 34-day moving average and the 50-day moving average. Everything is still pointed up. We're getting a normal, and so the uptrend is still intact, and we'll look for it to continue. Are we going to go all the way up here and just retouch off of the upper channel that we've been working in? As you go over and you take a look at the weekly chart on the S&P and the spiders, if you will, as you can see, it's just working its way right up across that, above that higher upper channel. And the thing that is of note, though, is please take a look at what's going on. And what we've got going on is what's happening. TSI has still crossed over, has kind of gone flat, and so we're not totally out of the woods yet. Are we going to go into a big correction? I think there's a lot of forces that are out there holding the market up to keep it from going into a huge correction. But from a pure clear the air, reset type of situation, a good 10 or even 15% pullback on the indexes would be kind of a good thing. It would get out of the weak, it would get the weak hands out of there, so we could basically then have a green light to start looking at more or better, not better, but basically, if you will, cleaner, less encumbered stocks to trade to the upside, or even turn around and trade the indexes themselves. Now, on the Qs, one of the things I find very interesting here that is something to be at least a little bit concerned with is, one, the TSI, or correction, the moving averages, 820 has crossed over. We did not get a close below the 50, although it blew through it yesterday like, a hot knife through butter. Rebounded, nice rebounded day. However, where's it rebounding to? It's rebounding back up into these moving averages right there, which could wind up to be a good level of resistance for a reversal down. Take a look. The TSI is still pointing down on the weekly chart. The TSI is still pointing down, I think, on the daily chart. Yes, it is. Now, oftentimes, when that is the case, that where TSI has still pointing down, it broke support right here when it broke out below that level. So I would anticipate TSI, but perhaps moving all the way down into this level here, where you see that line. That's on a weekly chart. That's where I'd anticipate the TSI going. The market forecast is also rolled over. And so while the weekly chart shows a hammer, it's not really a legitimate trend reversing hammer. It's just basically a hammer shape. That's one of the things to learn about when you are learning your candlesticks. When you look and you see these reversal patterns such as a hammer or a shooting star or an inverted hammer, they have to be at the end of a proper trend, either an uptrend or downtrend, for them to be valid. And so just, see a hammer out there floating around when it's not at the end of a trend, either up or down, basically means squat. Well, it means a little bit more than squat, but it's not to be interpreted as a reversal pattern. Anyway, so that's what we've got going on with the Qs. Again, it is made a deeper correction. The other thing of note, and I'll just drop this on you right here, is see that low right there? Yesterday's low violated that low. So in the bigger scheme of things, intraday, we now have a lower low. Now, is price action going to bounce back up here and try a rally attempt? How far into where? And that's where I would throw on the fibs, just to say, let's throw a fib on here really quick, of where we might expect it to go, and see if that lines up with any other types of, see if that lines up with any other levels of price action support or resistance in this case. Ah, you booger. Let's try that one more time. So as you see, what's happened is here's the, this is just a retracement. It is retraced all the way to the 50% line of the retracement. The 618, yeah, it comes into play right there, 618 just slightly above the crossed over 8 and 20. So I'm still counting on that 820 level to be a potential area where we could stall out. But we don't have to stall. That's one of the things I want to make sure. We do not have to stall. And this was above average volume day, but we've been getting a lot of those over the last few days, above average volume, as we did in fact fall. The other thing that this is a, this is a larger drop than we've had in a while. And so if we stall out around that 618, look for a reversal signal to the downside. And the other thing, again, one of the things I was studying over the weekend and doing a lot of work on, and I'm going to be making a presentation about the TSI and using a 3-chart trigger system to be able to, especially to trade options. I'm really impressed with the results so far as I was doing my back testing, and I'll be able to launch that out probably. Start putting out that putting out some information about that next week. My son is Brandon is trying to convince me to do that as a training session and invite people to come on in and take advantage of it. Russell's still looking stronger than the other. It also, though, did push down intraday, put in a lower high. Let's see what happens when it gets back up in these areas here. If we get back up or even push through a little bit, these past highs at about the 230 level, if the TSI has not picked up and resumed its, getting up back up to its highs, we'll have a negative divergence in place. Good volume today, a good, was this, yeah. Again, where this hammer right here is reversing a longer term, a little bit better looking downtrend. But as far as a 2-day pattern, there was no downtrend. It was reversing. It was just reversing off a support down here at the 34-day moving average. And we'll look at that to continue that. Run over and take a look at the what's happening on the weeklies. The weekly TSI has still rolled over, but however, it is still up in its upper reversal zone, so that's a positive. I've rolled over to the intraday. Intraday, TSI, basically, TSI is up here, and this is a 30-minute intraday chart, is up in the upper reversal zone. Oftentimes when that happens, it could basically fall back to the downside. So I have two areas I want to be watching IWM. One is up here at the past highs, the 230 level, and then if I break below these swing lows, we may get a retest. Some, and it could stop anywhere between, I would say 222 all the way back down to the 218 level, or even, a little bit lower than that. So that's what we have working there. Part of the thing that they were talking about over the, they being the talking heads and that kind of stuff, they were talking about Tesla. What's going on with Tesla? Is Tesla a buy right now? And I'll leave that. Well, I'll just give you my take on this. Is look at what's happening with Tesla. Yes, we have a tick up on and a click up on the daily TSI. However, Tesla, let's run over to the weekly. The weekly, yes. If this was Friday, we could say, aha, we have a hammer reversal signal in place on Tesla, a big one. However, it's Wednesday. Therefore, we cannot interpret this weekly candlestick, while it looks positive right now, we cannot interpret it as a reversal signal. Just remember that. The period of, like if we're looking at a weekly chart, we have to let the week complete, finish, that means close on Friday, to basically be able to understand, actually and accurately interpret the candlestick itself. So what we've got going is we have a push up back into the moving averages. Oftentimes you get a clump of these moving averages all around the same price level, and right now we're looking at 250 up to, I would say, 276, and so about a $25 range there where TSI or where Tesla could hit and then reverse. What we're getting right now is a rally attempt. Yes, buyers did come in. We cannot discount that big sellers came in yesterday, big buyers came in today. At the same time, we're below the moving averages. And to get a real full correction, here's the 200 coming up down here. It's a long way away. Now, are we going to make it all the way down to 200? Well, if we do, that will be one heck of a big buying opportunity. So here's the way I'm going to trade Tesla. Basically, I'm going to look for it to, when I've just made a lower low, a big lower low, oftentimes I want, before I get all, back in gear to be bullish on this, I want to see it work out and do a retest. In other words, the retest doesn't have to be all the way down to the bottom, but I'll be looking for a pattern to kind of give me a little pullback and then a bounce, pullback and a bounce. And then what will happen is that'll get our TSI turned around and our market forecast, where we watch the market forecast, and that works well there. A stock that we identified on the Autopilot top 5 growth stocks this past week. We called this out on Sunday or on Saturday actually, and put out the say here's where we're going to buy this. Now on Saturday, where was this? Where did this finish off last week? There's the 17th, 18th, 19th. We were right there, and I called and I said when the market is getting kind of weak, oftentimes it will bounce back down here into these lower levels of support and then rebound. So I called for us to be able to get into this stock at about 86.50, I want to say. And sure enough, I have no, there's no guarantee that we're going to get a good bounce every time we put out an order and send that out to our Autopilot top 5 folks who join us for that and who get their pre-flight checklist on 5 of the best growth stocks out there every Friday or Saturday, excuse me. However, it came down with the market weakness yesterday, triggered the entry. We're into the trade, and we're already, basically, we're in down here about the 86.50 level. Our first target to get out, and I'm like, hold on a second. Hold on just a second. Yeah, there you can see it right here, LITE, 86.57. That's where we got in. Pre-planned. We did that with conditional order. Bop down there. We've bounced back up. Where was my first target to get out? At $94, which was just back up slightly above the 32-day moving average. And then the next one above that is up in here, I want to say 117 or maybe all the way up here at 111. So we're riding this puppy this time. This is an excellent hammer after a downtrend. If you're looking for, that is a beautiful hammer yesterday. It got us in at the right place. SI is ticked up. The only concern I have about LITE is excuse the pun, the volume is a little light also. So it's below average. However, we're getting a nice pickup. This may be getting ready for a run into earnings, and earnings is over here on, actually the earnings is all the way out in May 4th. And so it's probably a little bit too early for an earnings run, but it's looking very positive. If you're interested in finding out more about stocks like this, of course, there will be a link down in the, if you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down to the top 5 membership on the YouTube channel, and also if you're watching on Instagram, just go over my bio, and there is a link there on Linktree that'll get you in. So that's what we're looking with that. The other thing that I'll leave you with, LITE, again, where would I think about possibly entering LITE now? Well, this big candlestick here, any kind of a pullback down into the 92 area or a little bit lower could offer an opportunity to get in. You could do either a buy the stock and or do some kind of an option trade. Like the reasonableness, this does have weekly options. And so I could go 2-3 weeks out and do some kind of a bull put spread. That way make it a bull credit spread or a bull debit spread, and or simply just buy a call option or sell a put option, whichever way you want to do it. And then lastly, I'm going to leave you with this. You may be looking at the crypto and the blockchain and all that kind of stuff. We've added to our list of things to watch Block. I'm not going to basically jump into it right now. Block looks kind of interesting. The crypto is in the process of doing a pullback, as you can see from Block, MARA. And I was looking for now this is fairly typical on MRA. TSI is still pointing down. It looks like it wants to bounce here at the 0 line, but it hasn't. Prices ran up today up to where? The 8-day moving average and reversed off the 36.40 level. Has weekly options on this puppy. I would not be surprised to see if it fails here and stalls out. You can tell by the longer wick on today's candlestick. Sellers came in right there at the 8-day moving average and pushed prices down. Go over here to the weekly. Weekly TSI is crossed down, negative divergence. And what I'm finding as I've been doing my analysis and my review is that once your longer term TSI, which is a momentum indicator, once they have reversed either to the downside or the upside, that the best way to trade it, the highest probability of doing the trade, is trade in the direction of the cross. In other words, these have crossed to the downside. So I want to be looking on trades for MARA to the downside until the momentum shifts. How do I know the momentum shifts? A confluence or a conversion of clues showing me I have at a low level of past support, I have reversal candlesticks in place. I have, oh gosh, whatever. What else? My TSI is all the way down at the very bottom. That would be a convergence of clues. Or I'm looking for the TSI on the intraday chart to be all the way down in the lower reversal. And as you see, but I don't take this trade because everything else was pointing down. However, as soon as we bounce back up and got into extremes here, I can take a trade to the downside on Mara, M-A-R-A. Interesting in its option change, it actually has dollar-wide strike prices. So worth taking a look at. Maybe a little bit hard to get filled occasionally on it. But the crypto is not going to go away. Blockchain is not going to go away. And so I think it's best to let's find a trading vehicle that's going to allow us to trade that. So without any further ado, just let you know, if you're not subscribed to us on YouTube, please basically subscribe, hit the bell. You'll get notified when we post new training videos on YouTube. If you are looking at us on Instagram TV, please like, share, and also one of the new algorithms they have is they mark up your channel if somebody saves what you've had to say, whatever, bookmark it. and then I am going to be posting a new video to YouTube, and it's going to be about how to do back testing utilizing the on-demand feature on the Thinkorswim platform. It is really cool. It is, and basically, if you are a new trader, you're going to want to watch this because it's going to show you exactly the functionality of how to do your back testing, how to use that cool tool called on-demand and on Thinkorswim platform, which actually comes out, it is the best simulation application that is out there. And one of the things when I was flying jets for the Navy, basically for every hour we flew in an actual aircraft, we had to fly about 3 hours, 2.5 to 3 hours in a regular or in the simulator. And how much? I don't know how much more, but wouldn't it be worth doing simulations on your trades? I think so. And so, again, do those, learn to do your simulations, watch that video. I hope to have it up tonight, but if not, it'll be up first thing tomorrow morning. And so, until later, aloha, God bless. Again, have a great Wednesday. And we'll see you tomorrow on Thursday. Aloha.